Hey everyone. So I'm here. I just want to have a quick little chat about wig buying and how to manage this wig life that we've fallen into, because it can be really expensive and in many cases feels pretty cost prohibitive to us, as we see so many beautiful wigs out there and want them all. First of all, I want to tell you that I'm wearing Girl Mono in the color Light Bernstein Rooted. This Girl Mono was actually gifted to me by a wig sister who I have connected with. We message back and forth and we've developed a friendship because we have similar challenges, and she had worn this Girl Mono a number of times, lots and lots, and she loved her, but she felt she wasn't really going to wear her anymore, but that she had worn her so much that she didn't think she was worth selling. And at the time I was unsure about these lighter colors, and so she sent her to me so that I could check out the color and maybe just play around with her and see if I could rehab her a little bit. And I did rehab her a little bit. I was really able to condition her some life back into her, and so I'm so grateful for that. So I think as I think about the challenges we face with buying wigs, and as I watch the comments by my sisters on Facebook, on my YouTube videos, that this is just so hard, and how do you afford this? I think I want to just talk briefly about some of the things that come up in this journey, and to call the elephant out that's in the room. There is a very real wig addiction problem that can arise once you discover wigs. And I think we just have to be very aware of that. And I will admit that I have been in that camp. I may still be in that camp. But I want to talk a little bit about why that happens. We grow up, those of us who are wearing wigs because of hair loss. Let's just talk about that, because there are a lot of women who wear wigs because they choose to. They don't like their bio hair, or they love to change up their hairstyle and hair color, and they discovered that wigs are a fun, convenient way to do that. That's perfectly acceptable. But there is a group of us who have hair loss, and that hair loss has caused a vulnerability in us that sometimes we self-medicate through extreme wig buying, and that can become really scary if you're in the throes of it. When I first started wearing wigs, I went absolutely crazy. I'm still kind of going crazy, but I've tapered that off a little bit, and I have new strategies which I'm going to talk about here. But I was buying like crazy. I was putting it on credit cards. I had a PayPal credit that you can, the no interest for 6 months. I know some of you know what I'm talking about. And at first I'm like, oh, no problem. We make enough money. I could pay this off in the 6 months. Well, that grew. And then I started putting it on another credit card. I am not a credit card charger. I don't put things on credit cards. I went crazy. I probably charged, thousands of dollars on credit cards. Let's just put it that way. I canceled my PayPal credit. I canceled one of my Visa cards. I only have one Visa card now that my husband and I share. It's meant for emergencies. It has no balance on it right now, and I can no longer charge wigs. I put that on myself. My husband is wonderful and really didn't ask. I can't even imagine how much money he thought I was spending when he saw all the wigs. But I had to take drastic steps to curb my wig addiction. And I've been losing my hair for 20 years. I have very thin hair. I have been hiding it for a long time. Once I discovered wigs, and once I had a couple of successes, that was it. Off to the races. And so I really had to reel that in. I am still buying a lot of wigs. I'm very blessed to have a good job. My husband has a good job. And so I am still buying a lot of wigs, as I'm sure many of you see, because I post a lot of reviews and I don't get free wigs. But I have strategies now, and I cannot charge them. So if I can't pay for them, I can't buy them. So the first thing I really want to just get out there before I start talking about wig buying strategies is, if you suspect that you have a wig buying problem, or if you know you do because you are charging up credit cards and you are paying interest on the wigs that you're purchasing, first of all, my prayers go out to you. I completely understand. Second of all, I encourage you to really start to build some relationships with Wig Sisters. Start chatting with people on these Facebook groups that maybe you guys comment a lot on the same posts. Maybe you can send a message through Messenger and develop a friendship. I have a couple of Wig Sisters that I've done that with over time. It's just sort of been an organic thing. And they're now trusted Wig Sisters that I can go to if I need to be talked off the ledge, or if I'm on eBay and I'm seeing this wig and I'm like, oh, I really shouldn't buy it. We have to help each other. We do. We have to help each other find good wigs, but we also have to help each other if it's becoming a problem. So please don't ignore that problem. If you've lived your life with hair loss, or if it's a sudden thing for you, acknowledge that you are vulnerable to this. Acknowledge that when you find something that makes you feel good and that helps you, that is huge, but it can also cause other problems. And just make sure you're aware of that. Losing our hair is not an insignificant thing. I mean, it causes self-esteem issues. It causes these vulnerabilities that we didn't even know were in us in some cases to arise, especially for those of us, and I'm not in this camp, who had beautiful hair, whose hair really was part of your identity. I acknowledge that there are women out there that this has devastated beyond belief. And so be gentle with yourself. Understand that happens. It's okay. It's really okay. And you will be okay because you have sisters on your side and you have a community of women who completely get it, when oftentimes we feel like nobody gets it. So the first step here is just kind of acknowledging that vulnerability, acknowledging the emotions behind this, acknowledging all of that, and then really being intentional about your strategies around purchasing wigs. And so that leads me to kind of why I filmed this video, is a lot of questions. How do you find these wigs? How can you afford to buy all these wigs? I wish I could afford to do this, or I just can't. I have no success in this journey. And so there's so many pitfalls that we face. And so I just want to talk quickly now, because I've rambled on and on about a few of my strategies and how I'm able to continue to purchase wigs even though I have nipped my ability to charge them in the bud. And so now I really have to pay for them. And I am on a budget now. The first thing is I scan the Facebook groups and eBay a lot for good deals. And I don't purchase brand new wigs anymore. Very rarely. I've bought a few from like Leanne Thompson and some Wig Sisters who sell wigs that are brand new, but I've gotten really good deals on them. But otherwise, I don't go to the big wig sites anymore and purchase brand new wigs. I just can't. If I did that, I couldn't afford to buy so many wigs. So that's my first strategy. And so how do you do that and avoid the getting taken for a ride, or avoid bad purchases? Because there is a risk to doing it this way. So first of all, I look on eBay regularly for wigs. And when I find a wig that I'm interested in, I ask a lot of questions. I first of all look at the seller's rating, make sure that they have good feedback, that this isn't the only thing that they've ever sold, or that they don't have a lot of feedback. That's not a foolproof method, and I have purchased wigs from people on eBay who didn't really have a lot of feedback. So then I ask a lot of questions. I will message them with questions about things such as, why are you selling? I think the reason someone is selling a wig is an important piece of the picture. That can help give you confidence that this is a reasonable sell, that they're not trying to pass off a problem. I usually ask for additional pictures if they haven't included very many pictures. I will ask for pictures of the lace front if it has a lace front, so that you can tell if it's been cut or if there's fraying going on. I will ask for pictures of the ends if it's a long wig, because ends can really be telling about how much a wig has been worn. I will ask if they were the only owner of the wig, because sometimes people will get a wig from another seller and then turn around and resell it. That can be a little telling about whether or not the history of the wig is being disclosed, because maybe they don't know. So I ask a lot of questions, and I sometimes have to walk away from a wig that looks beautiful in the pictures because I can't get satisfactory answers to my questions. And that can be hard. That can be hard if you have a wig buying addiction. It can be hard if it's a wig that you've really wanted and it's a good deal, but you run the risk of wasting that money if you're not disciplined in that way. On Facebook, when I go to buy from someone selling on a Facebook group, I usually ask a lot of the same questions, but I feel a little more confident if it's someone who regularly posts on Facebook, who answers questions regularly, who is really active, because the odds that they're going to try to be deceptive are pretty small. I mean, it's like being in a friend group and stealing money from your friend. People just don't generally do that. So that's another great place to go. Sometimes you can post in these Facebook groups that you're looking for a specific wig. There may be a sister out there who has that wig sitting in a box and just hasn't taken time to try to sell her, and then sees your post and thinks, oh, great opportunity, I'm getting rid of her once and for all. And they may give you a really great deal because their intention wasn't to sell it to make money. So those are some really great ways to get some good wigs. Another strategy that I employ is when I do purchase a wig, if it didn't work out for me, to resell it. If it's in great condition and there's nothing wrong with it, it just didn't work out for me, then I will resell it. Why not? And I usually don't try to sell it for what I paid. I don't find wigs sell very well that way. So I take a hit. But if I already got a really good deal on a wig, if I take a $20 hit on that, I consider that a renter's fee. The fee I paid to have the opportunity to try it. And, you can budget a certain amount of that into your budget. And so that's another great strategy. Don't just sit on the wig. Turn around and sell it. It takes a little bit of effort, but it's worth it. Take a few pictures, put it on and take a picture of yourself. And this could be a way to try some wigs and not be out so much money. So I definitely encourage you to consider doing that. Another thing that I've done, and I think it's a valid way to manage this process, is if you get a wig and you don't think you can sell it, wear it for casual, wear it for working out, wear it for taking the dog for a walk. Get some headbands and put a headband on it. I have a video of a wig that I didn't like, and it's my ponytail headband wig, and I love it this way. I wore it to the gym yesterday. So I think some of those strategies can be employed as well. So I don't want to discount that some of you are on extreme budgets. Like $50 is too much money. You can't afford even $50. I do understand that. I haven't always been blessed like I am now. My husband and I have very good jobs. We've worked very hard to have these jobs. I was a single mom before I met my husband of 3 children, and I made $40,000 a year, 40 or 45. I can't remember which it was. And my house was in foreclosure. Not going to get into the long story. It was a very sad situation. But I understand completely. If that were me now, I wouldn't be able to really afford. I'd be worried too. And so what I'd like to do is try to just help think through, okay, how can this work? Because I really believe it can. I believe there are other wig sisters willing to help other wig sisters out. I believe that you can find good used wigs. I believe if you manage your expectations, some budget wigs may be good for you. And I would like to try to start going down the path of budget wigs and try to figure out what works, what doesn't. But because now I'm on more of a budget, I can't just willy-nilly spend. So I'm trying to figure out how to make that work. So I don't know if this was helpful, but I think for those of you who are just new to this or can't figure out how do I even begin, I think watching videos asking questions on Facebook, taking some time to observe, even though I'm sure you are eager to get a wig and to find one that works for you. Sometimes that is where a lot of the money is wasted, because you just aren't sure yet how to go about this. And so you jump before you run before you crawl. And so I definitely encourage you to ask questions. Ask me questions. I have people who message me all the time with questions. I don't mind, and I love to help if I can help. But there are ways to do this without spending $400 on a wig. There are ways to do this without spending $150 on a great wig. A lot of the wigs I post that are name brand, retail for over $300, I have paid less than $150 for, including shipping. Oftentimes closer to $100. If you just are patient and you pay attention to people posting and you ask if it's the best that they can do. There's nothing wrong with negotiating. The seller can say no. I do that a lot. I'll do that on Facebook. I'll also do that on eBay. If someone posts a wig and they have the best offer, I'll put in a best offer. I've been known to put in a very low best offer. So I've been known to put in, somebody had the wig posted, I think there's an example of somebody had a wig posted for $140, including shipping, and I put in a best offer of $80, and I got it. So I've been denied too plenty of times, but it's worth giving it a shot. You never know what you'll find. So I definitely encourage you to do that. But you have to be careful. You have to ask questions and, do some research, but I think that this can be done. And so if you have questions for me, let me know. I hope this was helpful. I feel like this was really random and rambling. Maybe it would have been better if I would have had some notes, but it is what it is. So I just want to help. So anything I can do to help, let me know. I hope you have a good day. Thanks for watching.